Let's have a look at modifying lofts in the 3D tiny house designer, because we have developed the software to create tiny homes and wheels. Most of the time you have loft spaces or mezzanine spaces, however you want to call them. And to do that, we have developed the loft tool. And essentially they work very similarly like walls, only that they are on a vertical axis, if you think about it. And you can change the length, width, and height from the ground as well to make sure that they're in the right place. And I'll just show you how to do that now. So because we have resized this tiny house and moved everything over, we can see that we have a bit of a gap here from the end of the loft to the back wall. And of course we want to make sure that we don't accidentally fall through here. So we will change the size of this loft panel to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to do that by adding a little bit of length to this loft panel. And we know that we've added a 500 millimeter gap, so we know we need to add 500 millimeters to this. So we will make this loft panel 3,800 millimeters long. Of course it has resized on both directions, so we need to bring this over by 250 millimeters on this side here. And now we have resized this panel successfully, and now we can go in and move all of our cabinetry to fit this new space. So I'll just quickly click on the cabinets and move them over. Of course, I will go into how to place new cabinets as well in a second, but this is just for the sake of showing you how the lofts work. There we go. And just as a quick tip, if you want to place loft panels from scratch, you can click on this button here, which shows you the lofts. And if you have your lofts disabled, it will gray out this button here. So all you gotta do is re-enable the lofts, and then you can select your loft menu. And we have mezzanine and walkway panels or drop loft panels, and they are preset to the standard heights that you would encounter in a tiny house, but you can of course change the height as well. And to do that, you can click on the loft panel here, and you can change the height from ground setting right here. So at the moment, the top of the loft panel is 2,120 millimeters from the ground. So that, in this case, the ground is the interior ground or the finished floor level of the tiny house interior. So that means from the top here to the bottom of the floor here is 2,120 millimeters. And this option here shows us, or this display panel essentially shows us that we have a 2,000 millimeter gap under the loft and the ground floor. So this means if you are a tall-ish person, let's say you're 1.9 meters tall, you're still going to be able to clear this loft panel right here quite easily. And if you want to change the thickness here, you would do that here as well. But I'm just going to leave it as is, and you can play around with your lofts if you want to change the height. If you want to have an L-shaped loft, for example, that is not just a square, you would assemble multiple loft panels together. So I'll just quickly show you how I would do that. I won't actually do it in this design, but it's just for the sake of showing you how to do that. I'll click on the loft panel and I will make it, let's say 1,000 by 1,000 millimeters wide, like that. And then I will use my dimension callouts here to move it again. And because it picks up on the dimensions on the ground floor, it doesn't pick up on the distance between the loft panels here, I will just move it manually until it's very close, and we can see that there's no gap in between here. But now we would have an L-shaped loft panel by just assembling two loft panels together. I'll just quickly get rid of it again because I don't actually want to have that loft panel here. But that's how you would work with loft panels in the 3D Tiny House Designer. And walkway panels work exactly the same way like loft panels, only that they are preset to be a little bit lower, and you can just change that to suit your needs, of course, as well, to make sure that you have enough head clearance when you are walking on top of them.